All right, AWTV, we have arguably everyone's favorite trick at one point in time once they've learned it. So let's give you guys your turn to make it your favorite trick. Here we go. We have the cork snapuswipe. All right, let's go. Let's get right into it. This is definitely one of my favorite tricks at one point in time as I was learning it. Still one of my favorite tricks to do. It is an awesome trick, and in fact, quite often, easier than double cork itself. So let's talk about that and get right into it. Here we go. Cork snapuswipe. All right, now the way that I always work my way through a tutorial is we have our prereqs, but before we get into our prereqs, the main important thing is you are going to want to pick out your setup. Now, are you going to do a cork snapuswipe from a J step without really any setup, just by itself? Or are you going to do a cork snapuswipe from something like a Gumby, a touchdown raise, a B twist? What is your setup? So find your setup, and then we can get into these prereqs. Let's go. Okay, so another way that I like to introduce the double variations like twist, kick, twist, or twist, double leg twist would be from full. So not just doing it like cork snapu or cork double leg twist, but doing it from a full setup. Why? Because when I cork snapuswipe, it is a full 1-2 spins with a variation in the middle, and when I do it with a full, it is just a little bit less. It's about a quarter less. So I start here with normal like cork, and I start here with cartwheel full. So it's just a little bit easier for me to do so, and that's why I like to introduce that. That way I'm not going to talk about it because that is not the tutorial, but if you want to use a cartwheel trick like full hyper or full double leg, and then working your way up into full snapu and full double leg twist, that is a way to do so. Now, I'm going to use this, I'm going to use cartwheel as my example to show you how I kind of cheat my way into it in the future here once we're kind of working our way up through these, prereqs. But we'll get there later. Here we go. Prereqs, people. Let's get right into it. First one's very obvious. It's going to be just a regular gainer. I need you guys to understand how to get a really solid lift. So make sure that your gainer is not being thrown back as far as possible, like so. No, we don't want no fast, really low gainers. We need a super high, really floaty gainer, like so. Get your float on. All right, from there, work your way into a cork. Being really comfortable with cork is obviously important. It's a cork snapu. From there, cork hyper. Now, not even really double cork. You should maybe understand double cork before doing cork snapu, but we're not even talking double cork as a prereq. I just want you guys doing a hyper. Now, not just any regular hyper. Start to get comfortable with just a regular cork hyper. Let's demonstrate that really fast. Just your regular right leg landing. Now here we go. We need to get a little more of a swiping motion. So here's two different ways that I want you to experiment with how you're going to use your leg going into a swiping motion before you start to add the spin. For your cork snapu, way number one, be a little bit more vertical. Hit it with a cork 540 motion, just like this. And then with more of a really swiping down flash kick motion like this. Okay, now here's where we're going to get into that cartwheel full hyper that we were talking about earlier. So be comfortable with the cartwheel double full. This is going to be a little bit helpful for you as you're going to know exactly where to go. Maybe even a full and a half is going to be extremely helpful for you to know where to go, even cork and a half. But the main one is that once we go into our cartwheel full and we start to really slice our leg down, I want you to start to full gyro, because the full snapu, you twist once you're up here, but I want you to full hyper, hold it for as long as possible, and then last second, start to rotate. It's going to look a little bit like this. At the end, you see there, I start to just tap and rotate myself around. Now here, as I get a little more comfortable with it, we're gonna add that rotation just a little bit sooner, looking just like this. And then more and more, I don't know if you saw a huge difference, but it feels different. More and more you start to twist those hips a little more and a little more, and it starts to happen a little sooner and a little sooner. And eventually, you're not holding it, twisting it. You're holding it, and then you're like, oh, hey, I know where I'm at. And then you can rip for a really nice spin. And because you're doing it from cartwheel, it is a quarter less of a rotation. So once you have that down and comfortable, that's just a nice way to ease your way into doing a cork snapu. Okay, so take the same thing, take your setup, work the swipe, work the gyro, apply all of it. Those are your prereqs to work your way up into doing a cork snapu swipe. Once you're extremely comfortable, this trick is one that is just, you gotta drill it over and over and over and over and over to get it really comfortable. At one point, it really is becoming, kind of a straight leg kick, and that's a personal preference. If you want to make it more of a snappy kick, you can start to get, as you're more comfortable, of course, you can start to change the way that you do it by snapping it, making it more inside crescent, how long you hold it, how the image of your cork snapu looks. Let's get one more cork snapu swipe before we get out of here. All right, AWTV, this has been the cork snapu swipe tutorial with your boy, Michael Guthrie. Tune in for more. You know I'm bringing them.